Couple years ago, I boiled my husband's phone because he made me really mad and I wanted him to not have a phone, but I also didn't want to break the phone or anything like that. Like, I didn't want to make it obvious that it was me. It was one of the many times where he didn't have a job, but I had a job, and then he would always lose his job, and then everything would fall on me, or he'd be there asking every single day his family for money, whatever. During his free time, all he was doing was watching movies, watching ass, talking to girls on YouTube, whatever. He was spending like 5 minutes a day on Indeed, and that was it. And that pissed me off. So in my head, I knew that if his phone broke, he would not be able to afford another one, and I wasn't going to buy him another one. So one night while he was sleeping, he would sleep in the corner of the bed near the window, and he would have his phone on the windowsill. Is that what it's called? If I were to try to reach my fat ass over him to get his phone, he would know. He would wake up. He'd be like, what are you trying to do on my phone? Whatever. So I went outside. I grabbed these humongous tongs that are for like the barbecue pit, like the extra long ones. And I had it there with me in bed, and I was just waiting for him to fall asleep. Once he fell asleep, I reached over him with the tongs to grab his phone. Then I got his phone. He was still snoring. He was still asleep. Once the phone was in my possession, I sprinted to the kitchen, put a pot of water to boil, and then once it was like boiling, I put the phone in there. While the phone was boiling, I went and I made a little ice bath in a bowl, because if he were to grab his phone randomly, I don't want him to be like, why the fuck is it like on fire? Like, then I'm gonna have to be like, I have no idea. I went to the room, put the ice bath under my bed, that way like he won't see it. Went back to the kitchen, the phone was still boiling, cooking up, whatever. I almost added some seasonings to it. Once the Apple symbol disappeared and the phone wasn't turning back on anymore, I said, okay, my job here's done. I got the tongs, grabbed the phone out of the boiling water, and then ran back to the room and put it into my ice bath under my bed. I left it in there for maybe like 20 minutes until it was not like, scorching hot. It was metal, so. Then I carefully dried it off with a towel, got all the water, like shook it, got all the water out, and then I put it back on the window, and then I went to sleep. So the next morning I sleep in, and I'm like, yay, I don't have to worry about what he's doing on his phone because he doesn't have one. So I slept in, it was so blissful. Then when I wake up, because the kids are waking up or whatever, he's like, they're messing with his phone, and then I'm like, I wonder what happened. Later on in the day, I don't know what he did, but it came back to life. It started working again somehow. And I was like, fuck. How the fuck, Apple, did that happen? I was flabbergasted. I was like, there's no way that shit came back to life. But it did. So I did the same thing that night. Put the phone in boiling water, did the same process. And this time it killed it for good. Was it wrong? Yes. Do I feel bad? No. Anyways, there was no physical damage to the phone whatsoever. So if I would have never admitted it to him later on, he would have never known. I did tell him I have a very guilty, like if I did something bad, like I want to tell you about it. Like I don't like to keep that in my head or whatever. So I told him maybe like a month later what I did. And I was like, honestly, I did this and sorry. And he called me a witch and said that I was like a witch with a cauldron boiling his phone. So I was like, yeah, maybe a little bit.